Dr. Dre first gained national recognition from working with the group NWA in the release of their album Straight Outta Compton. This album went 2 times platinum and allowed them to gain national notoriety without much radio play. After this though, Dr. Dre left NWA and Ruthless Records after business disputes. In 1992, he signed with Death Row Records. During this time, he released his debut album, The Chronic. He stayed at Death Row Records for a few years. After this, in 1996, he decided to start his own label with the help of Jimmy Iovine. Here are some of the characteristics of Dr. Dre's productions. Dr. Dre tries to make a song that fits the artist. Working with Dr. Dre, talent gets you in the door, but he says that personality keeps you there. He has to be able to have a chemistry with the artist that he works with. He tries to kick it with the artist and get in their head and understand them a little bit more. Dre has a production style that is more involved than Rick Rubin, and he usually writes tracks behind his MPC with musicians around to help him facilitate his ideas. He has a Brian Eno-esque style of producing where he'll let musicians jam around and he just lets them find things out until he hears something that he likes. Where Dre differs is, once he hears something that he likes, he will isolate that musician or the particular sound and he'll refine it to his liking. Mike Elizondo, bass player and frequent collaborator of Dr. Dre, said he has gained a lot of insight on achieving the perfect bass part from Dr. Dre. Dre opened Elizondo's eyes to the importance of where notes are placed, how long to hold the note, and what type of tone to get from the bass to match the contrast of the kick and bring the whole kit out. He worked with keyboard player Scott Storch for his monstrous single, Still Dre. Here's a little bit about Dr. Dre's work with artists. Dr. Dre likes to mold his artist. His recording sessions are renowned for being rigorous, and his work ethic is through the roof. If you can't attempt to outwork him, then you're not going to last. He has a knack for helping an artist reach their full potential while in the studio with him by holding him to a higher standard than any other producer that they work with. After all, he did help his artists Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent make great albums that sold well and also were just great. Not to mention all the other singles and album cuts he's done for other artists. Artist 50 Cent stated that working with Dr. Dre changed his whole recording process. Throughout most of Dre's career, he has preferred to help develop and mentor new artists, as opposed to just trying to work with A-listers. He actually turned down a once-in-a-lifetime chance to work with Michael Jackson for this very reason. Dr. Dre is a perfectionist. According to rapper RBX, he once had rapper Bishop Lamont redo a line 107 times. He also stayed in the studio with Eazy-E, working with him for 9 hours on his first single. Although Dre wasn't the first to use live instruments in hip-hop, he certainly was the best at it and brought a unique approach to making music. While everybody else was sampling at the time, Dr. Dre decided to get great musicians, and they would help to add body to his tracks and oftentimes help him recreate the tracks that he would usually sample. A few good examples of this are Dr. Dre's Nothing But a G Thing, which samples a song from Leon Haywood, and Snoop Dogg's What's My Name, which samples Harlem Funkadelic's Not Just Knee Deep. Both songs contain samples as well as replay aspects of both songs. There are a few words to describe the sonic character of Dre's productions: bass and clarity. He has somehow figured out how to get more low-end punch on his records than any other producer. He also has a top-end clarity and cleanness to his productions and mixes that was practically unheard of in hip-hop before Dre stepped onto the scene. Nothing will exit the studio until Dre is satisfied with it. He is hands-on when it comes to the final sonic aspects of his records. He is one of the only hip-hop producers who is just as comfortable behind an SSL as he is behind an MPC, and he has mixed most of his records with the help of a few engineers here and there along the way.